When you first lay eyes on the 2026 Lamborghini Aventador SUV, the world around you almost stops breathing. It is not just the sight of a car. It is the arrival of something that feels larger than the moment you are in. As if the future itself bent down and whispered through sculpted metal. Painted in a breathtaking dual gradient of burnt orange, bleeding upward into deep black, it looks as though fire itself was forged into steel and then cooled by shadow. The effect is primal, as if the car was born from the Earth's core and emerged with the authority of a god. The first impression does not just hit you, it lingers, demanding your attention, refusing to let you look away. One moment you think it is beautiful, the next you realize it is dangerous. This SUV is not simply an evolution of the Aventador bloodline, it is a reinvention of what the human imagination dares to put on wheels. From the instant it appears before you, you understand this is not meant for the faint of heart. Most vehicles can be admired. Some can even be lusted after. But this one is feared, in the same way a wild predator commands silence in the jungle. The burnt orange that begins low on its body feels molten, like smoldering lava trapped under glass, while the black that consumes the roof and upper edges spreads like midnight closing in on fire. Together, they form a duality that perfectly mirrors Lamborghini's soul. Unrelenting fury, blended with an untouchable elegance. You do not simply walk up to this car. You approach it the way you approach a throne. Its height, its stance, the sharp aerodynamic lines that slice through the air, all tell you one undeniable truth. This machine was built to conquer not just the road, but the very way you perceive speed and dominance. Driving it is a revelation you are never truly prepared for. Slide into the cockpit, and the world outside immediately fades to irrelevance. The cabin is more spaceship than SUV, wrapped in carbon fiber, Alcantara, and an aura of power that presses on your chest, even before the engine awakens. The gradient exterior theme seeps into the interior with subtle cues. Warm amber stitching clashing against deep matte black surfaces, creating a balance between aggression and artistry. The steering wheel feels alive in your hands, sculpted to grip your instincts rather than just your palms. This is not comfort-first luxury. This is battlefield ergonomics. Every detail sharpened for dominance. Then comes ignition. And in that instant, the Aventador SUV reveals its true nature. The roar of its hybridized V12 powertrain is not an engine note. It is an eruption. A sound that does not ask for permission, but declares war on silence. It is primal and electrifying. The guttural thunder of the V12, fused with the futuristic whine of electric assistance. Together, they create a harmony that is neither purely mechanical nor entirely synthetic. It is something transcendent. The soundtrack of tomorrow, delivered in the ancient language of horsepower. Every rev feels like the cracking of thunder across storm clouds. And you realize with absolute clarity that this SUV was never designed to follow trends. It was designed to redefine the very idea of performance. On the move, the 2026 Aventador SUV dissolves every law of physics you thought you understood about large performance vehicles. There should be limits. There should be compromises. This car does not acknowledge them. Acceleration is blistering, launching you forward with such ferocity that the body barely has time to register the G-forces tearing against it. The all-wheel drive system is so precise, so impossibly calculated, that even on tight corners, you feel the car grip reality itself. Burnt orange and black blur in your peripheral vision, as the world outside becomes streaks of disbelief. The sensation is intoxicating, not just fast, not just powerful, but liberating in a way that makes you feel as though nothing can contain you. Yet what truly sets it apart is not just raw power, but the artistry behind it. Lamborghini did not build this SUV simply to compete with rivals. They built it as a message. They could have made something safe, something predictable, but instead they delivered a creature of myth. It is the combination of extremes, a family SUV capable of delivering brutal track performance, an everyday drive wrapped in the skin of a monster. A functional machine designed like a work of forbidden art. The dual gradient paint becomes more than a color choice. It becomes the metaphor of the car itself. Fire and shadow, chaos and control. A vehicle not torn between opposites, but one that embodies both at once. Everywhere you take it, it draws eyes the way a solar eclipse demands a crowd. Park it in a quiet street, and the silence becomes heavy, because the car radiates a presence that feels out of place in the ordinary. Take it onto a highway, and it transforms the entire atmosphere. Every car around it slows. Every driver sneaks glances. Pedestrians crane their necks. It does not simply exist in traffic. It dominates it. Even standing still, its sculpted panels and menacing stance whisper of speed and destruction, waiting just beneath the surface. Spend enough time with it, and you begin to realize it is more than just transportation. It becomes a reflection of desire itself. The Aventador SUV is not built to please everyone. It does not care to be approachable. It demands that you rise to its level. And when you do, when you finally understand what it means to command this much power, wrapped in this much beauty, you see that it is not a car at all, but an expression. An expression of what happens when design refuses to compromise and power refuses to apologize. This is Lamborghini's most unapologetic creation to date, and perhaps its most significant. It bridges two worlds that were never meant to meet: the impossible speed and soul of the Aventador lineage, and the practicality of an SUV silhouette. Where others stumble in merging luxury and performance, Lamborghini has created a vehicle that feels more like a myth turned metal. The burnt orange and black gradient is not a gimmick. It is prophecy. Fire rising from the earth, swallowed by the night, both trapped and unleashed in one machine. By the time you park it, by the time the engine winds down and the silence creeps back in, you sit there knowing the world is different now. Because once you have felt what the 2026 Lamborghini Aventador SUV is, you cannot unfeel it. It does not let go. It stays with you, etched in your chest like the echo of thunder. This is not just Lamborghini's boldest move. It is their declaration to the automotive world. The message is clear. Performance is no longer bound by shape, by category, or by expectation. The future is fire and shadow, and it has four wheels, a raging heart, and the name Aventador etched in flame. Heat, heat, I thank you, sir.